Welcome back to Black Movie Recaps. Today I'm going to show you a suspense action thriller film that was released in 2018 titled Breaking In. This is a spoiler content. Watch out and take care. The film opens with a man named Isaac getting ready to go for a jog. His collection of expensive watches should tell you the kind of man he is. He is going for a jog from the city to a suburban neighborhood. As he goes about his business, he gets hit by a pickup truck on the way. The driver steps out of the car and walks over to Isaac and stomps his head in. Sometime later, Isaac's estranged daughter Shaun Russell is driving to Isaac's old home with her kids, iPhone-addicted teenager Jasmine, and tech-savvy grade schooler Glover, in order to settle the 25-acre estate and sell the house where she spent her childhood. The children are a bit annoyed about having the weekend plans ruined, and Shaun apologizes. Upon arriving to the house, Shaun gets her attention to the security system, notifying her of a system reset, and tries to find out what's wrong. She tells Jasmine she thinks the power might have went out and just came back. She gets a call from her friend realtor Maggie that she'll pass by with the paperworks. Jasmine gets worried for her mom, but she tells her it's not Jasmine's job to worry about her mother but her job to worry about the daughter. She and the kids are going to stage the place for the sale. Shaun finds the place's high-tech security system a bit strange. Jasmine finds an old picture of her mom and grandfather, but feels someone is watching her. Glover discovers security cameras in the basement, along with the remote that controls everything in the house. He finds out the house has an elaborate security system, and he spends some time amusing himself with a drone. Hours later, Shaun calls her husband, who couldn't join them because he's stuck at the office. As Shaun is ordering pizza, she finds the garage door opened and walks in. Simultaneously, some criminals break into the house and take Jasmine and Glover hostage. Peter attacks Shaun outside, but she fights him off and stabs him with a broken wine glass. When she tries to get into the house, she finds Eddie standing over the kids menacingly. Peter chases after Shaun into the woods with a crowbar. The house is taken by 4 criminals: Peter, a safe-cracking former military man; Sam, psychopathic Duncan, and the leader Eddie. They learn from Shaun's ID that she's the old man's daughter. They weren't expecting anyone to be in the house. They have 90 minutes before the security company calls the police, and they want to find the money immediately. Duncan is bloodthirsty and thinks they should kill everyone since they saw their faces, but Eddie is more relaxed about it. Shaun fights Peter and manages to knock him unconscious when he hits his head on a rock. She leaves him bound and gagged. Shaun runs back to the house to speak to Eddie on the intercom. He says they only came for the safe in the house containing $4 million. It turns out the father was a master criminal who built this isolated fortress in the Badger State to protect his ill-gotten gains with every high-tech imaginable. Eddie tells her she's a woman, alone at the mercy of strangers, and her greatest weakness is locked inside the house with them. Eddie orders Sam to lock the children up in a room. Shaun goes back to Peter to find out how many and how deadly they are. As Shaun tries to find a way inside the house, Maggie, the real estate agent, comes to the house with paperwork for Shaun. She is greeted at the door by Eddie, who says that Shaun went into town for groceries. When Maggie notices Shaun's car is still there, as well as her purse, she becomes suspicious and decides to leave. Before she can get to her car and call 911, Duncan attacks her and slits her throat, which Shaun sees. Jasmine and Glover witness the scene and gets terrified. Eddie and Sam chastise Duncan for this. Jasmine tries to break out as the others frantically search for the safe. Her father was a wealthy white-collar criminal of some undefined variety. Isaac was under investigation by both the FBI and the district attorney, and Sam had learned he liquidated his assets. Sam gets paranoid about Duncan, but Eddie tells him not to worry. Shaun manages to get her hands on firecrackers as she sneaks around the house to find a way in. She sets off the firecrackers and breaks the security lights and cuts out the power. The villains try to find her, but Shaun manages to find a way in. She uses her knowledge of the security system to get Eddie out of the control room using the drone. She then logs him out. Jasmine and Glover are also devising their own plan to get Jasmine's phone and try to call the police. Glover is scared for her sister's safety, but she replies him, "I'm your big sister, it's my job to worry about you and not your job to worry about me." Shaun finds Jasmine in the other room. The lights come back on and Shaun tells her what to do so she and Glover can stay safe. With time running out, Shaun has to get out as the villains try to hunt her down. Duncan heads to the kids' room. Glover gets out to distract him long enough to get Jasmine back to the room. Shaun continues to escape the villains as she makes out her plan. Eddie goes to the room to ask Jasmine where her mom is. Jasmine in turn tells Eddie she knows where the safe is. She leads them to a room where she pulls back a tile on the wall and the safe is revealed hidden by the closet. However, only Peter knows how to open the safe. Sam later joins them, which served as a distraction for Jasmine to pick up stone and hide it. They tie the children up in their room. Shaun calls Eddie to meet up with her outside. The villains go outside as Shaun comes back with Peter and a knife held at his throat. Knowing that they need him, she demands that they let the kids come out so they can leave together and they can take the money. Eddie responds by shooting Peter dead and forcing Shaun to run back into the woods. Eddie takes a flash drive off a necklace that Peter was wearing so that they can open the safe. As she runs, Eddie screams at her, saying she just killed her kids and tells her to keep running. They manage to open the safe. Duncan starts to dump kerosene everywhere so they can light the place on fire. Suddenly the speakers starts to play a song. Eddie gives Duncan to the ahead to kill Shaun if he finds her. Simultaneously, Jasmine tries to cut herself loose with the stone. Shaun makes another attempt to save the kids by coming from the roof, but she is found by Duncan and Sam. Meanwhile, Jasmine cuts herself and Glover loose. Eddie finds them, but Jasmine manages to stab him before Glover takes his gun. He fires at Eddie and misses. Hearing the gunshot, Shaun takes the rope she was holding and swings down to the ground after pushing Sam off the roof, where he dies after his head hits the ground. The kids manage to lock themselves up in a room. Shaun takes Sam's keys as the kids run out of the house. They make it to Sam's truck as Duncan walks up from behind. Shaun goes in reverse and runs Duncan over, but Eddie shoots at the truck and causes them to crash. Shaun and the kids run back to the house and lock themselves in. Shaun thinks they got what they came for and will leave them alone, only to find the bag of money on the ground. They run to a hiding spot. Soon, Shaun's husband Justin arrives and is attacked by Eddie. He threatens to kill him in front of the children unless Shaun opens the door. She tells the kid to run as fast as they can and opens the door for Eddie. He makes his way back in the house as the children escapes through the back door. Eddie finds Shaun holding a lighter over the money bag after she poured kerosene on it. She knows that if Eddie kills her, she will just drop the lighter and he will lose what he came for. Eddie takes out the cartridge from the gun, and Shaun lets him take the money. However, Duncan returns and stabs Eddie to death. He goes after Shaun and threatens to rape her and Jasmine. Jasmine and Glover runs back to help their dad but hears screams of mom as Duncan attacks her. Jasmine arrives to help her mom, but Duncan overpowers her. Shaun goes for Eddie's gun, but Duncan kicks it away. Before he can do anything else, Shaun swipes his knife and stabs him dead. Shaun goes outside to hold Justin and their kids close as the police arrive. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.